We're back with another review. Today's topic, we're going to find out why everybody's talking about Jamie.
I want to be a drag queen.
How old are you, Jamie?
16, just.
16? Oh, they're getting younger and younger. Whilst I just curl up here in an ossifying ball, growing ever more fabulous. So, does she have a name?
Does it have a name?
Does your drag queen have a name?
Well, I thought a bit, brainstormed in that, but
Ah, with it, come on. You'll never know if you don't say. What is it?
Sandra Banana.
Sandra Banana.
Oh, I know.
Sandra Banana.
I know.
I'll have to do better than Sandra Banana. Your name's your brand. Take it seriously.
I'm Justin, here as always with my divine co-host Stephanie.
Hello, hello.
And today's topic, we're talking about the new Amazon movie musical, Everybody's Talking About Jamie. The film is about Jamie New, a 16-year-old boy who doesn't quite fit in. Instead of pursuing a traditional career, he dreams of becoming a drag queen. Uncertain about his future, Jamie knows one thing for sure: he's going to be a sensation. Supported by his loving mother and amazing friends, Jamie overcomes discrimination and bullying to step out of the darkness and into the spotlight. The film stars Max Harwood, Sarah Lancashire, Lauren Patel, Richard E. Grant, Samuel Bonley, Sharon Horgan, and Shabna Galati. And if I butchered your names, I completely apologize. I'm not doing it intentionally, and I'm sorry. The film releases September 17th to all Amazon Prime members, but we were lucky to be invited to a preview screening. And Stephanie, what did you think of Everybody's Talking About Jamie?
Well, right off the bat, I thought it was a really, really good movie musical adaptation. The only thing that kind of stinks about it is that people aren't going to have the opportunity to see it in the theaters. The fact that we were able to see Cinderella, of all things, in the theaters, and we're not going to have the opportunity to see Everybody's Talking About Jamie doesn't really sit well with me, but this was a great musical.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Speaking of Cinderella, this movie, so we just got back from a preview screening like 4 days ago from that. We're viewing this almost back to back with that. And same thing, this movie is like mouthwash. This is a breath of fresh air compared to Cinderella.
Yeah, it's a nice palate cleanser, if you will.
Not to drag on that movie, but yeah, I love this movie to death. I've been waiting for this movie. Of all the movie musicals we're getting this year, I didn't realize there was like 2 more coming down the pipe too. But September, as a packed month as it is, this movie is just not only a breath of fresh air, but just like, it's everything I think it could have been. Full disclosure, I've seen the pro shot.
Which is done in the West End?
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen the pro shot. Hopefully when it makes its North America premiere this January, it'll really be a hit, because it's a little show that could, I don't think it's anything. It's obviously not a spectacle. It's not a big show. But for what this movie could have been, I think we got the best product.
Yeah, and you were telling me that after having seen the theater version, the changes that they made were meaningful in the movie, and you thought the changes were for the better, correct?
Oh, yeah. The little things of fleshing out characters or just adding new scenes were just amazing. We'll get into spoilers in a minute, but every choice that I think, whether it's the director or writer made, was the right choice, because whether there are a few songs that are cut from the original show, but they're cut for a reason, whether it's integrating 2 different scenes to make it more worthwhile or make it more impactful. But yeah, the little things they add, like giving the bully a little bit of backstory to, why is he doing what he's doing, or giving the mom a little bit of more credibility, I would say, in the show. Not to say she doesn't, but just giving her story a little bit more backstory to see why she is the way she is with her son.
Kind of giving the characters an opportunity to be fully well-rounded.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just definitely fleshing out, and it was just amazing. Let's talk about this cast real quick. I just want to say, we've harped on a lot of movie musicals this year, and maybe some in the past, for just the maybe unnecessary casting for shows. But I just want to say, full, this cast is perfect.
Yes, I agree. It's age appropriate as well.
Yes.
Which I thought was important.
Ben Platt, take some notes. But yeah, just full. Now, this is coming from, I've only seen the pro shot, which was the original cast. And I will say some of them were pitchy, or some of them probably weren't the best actors. Not going to put too much shade on them. But this group was amazing.
I agree.
If Max Harwood, who plays Jamie New, were to stunt cast in the show, I would be there night one. But yeah, Max Harwood is amazing. I want to say Sarah Lancashire. Again, if I butchered that name, I'm sorry. Amazing. I would say a 10 versus the mom in the show that I had saw. Like, not only does she break out that 11 o'clock number of He's My Boy, which was heart-wrenching in this version.
Absolutely it was.
But, oh my gosh. So I was saying, like, they give a little bit more backstory. For hers, in the show, she's much more of a firecracker. So when we see her dealing with Jamie and the dad, she's much more of like talks back at me, and we see little bits of that. Obviously, they didn't change the book too much to the show, but she's much more quiet and reserved. So in the show, I kind of get the gist of like, did Jamie's dad divorce her, or did she divorce him? In this movie, we can definitely tell she was tossed aside, which is unfortunate. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's much more quiet, reserved, doesn't really stand up for herself. And so I feel like when she sings her 11 o'clock number, it's so much more impactful. Let me talk about Jamie New, Max Harwood, real quick. In the musical, the one thing I didn't like about Jamie New is in terms of a character, and I don't know if it's played the same from show to show, was with the original cast, he was a little bit too loud for me, a little bit jarring.
Compared to the rest of the cast?
True.
No, I'm asking, compared to the rest of the cast. Okay.
So comes out as a 10 on stage and is always at 10 the entire time. Not a problem, but I think, is he yelling just to act? You know what I mean? Instead of acting, is he just like projecting as loud as he can?
Right.
This Jamie is much more reserved, a little bit toned down.
Maybe a little bit more human, like a real person.
Definitely. He delivers the same lines, and it's just like, I believe it, especially the birthday scene, for instance, when he comes home and everything's dressed up. In this show, he's like, OMG, is this for me? It's a little bit too loud, but when he comes in, he's like, OMG, is this for me? Like, it's like much more, it's just little things like that. And I think, he really trained for this. Other characters, I want to talk about Lauren Patel. I love these versions of these songs when she sings Spotlight, and I forget the other one when they're in their bedroom. When I saw the original Pro Shot, the girl was a little bit tone deaf. Like, she could not sing a tune to save her life. This is the best version. This soundtrack is the best version of this.
I have several notes. I was taking a few notes throughout the show, and I have several instances where I'm like, love this song. Oh, yeah. Amazing song. Great song.
It's
wonderful singer. Yeah, I was very impressed with the overall soundtrack, which I just can't wait to get it, to buy the soundtrack and have it and play it regularly.
I want a vinyl for the set of this version, not the original. But speaking of new songs, I want to talk about Richard E. Grant, who plays Hugo. In the original show, Jamie comes into the shop, and Hugo sets up the same kind of lines he does in the movie, where he's just like, why do you want to be a drag queen? It has that 2 and 2 to find out more about Jamie. But in the show, they sing this song, The Legend of Loco Chanel, which is Hugo's persona, his drag star name. And it's very boring. I would say that is the worst song in the original show. What they do in this movie is they replace it with this like 80s bop that not only shows the joy and the fun of the nightlight of the 80s, but also gives you a glimpse into the AIDS epidemic of the 80s.
And it was called This Was Me.
Yes. It's such a... Oh my gosh, I'm glad that this song is in the movie instead of the original, because it's like, I want that. As soon as this album, which comes out September 10th, comes out, that's the first one that's being downloaded on my phone.
I couldn't agree more. I wrote that song down. That is an inspiring song that pays homage to an entire generation of people. I think it's important, and I hope that song lives on past this musical movie. I mean, I hope the movie musical lasts forever, but I hope that song transcends into other avenues or other things, because it's beautiful, and I hope it continues to be played.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of that scene, that was so cool that they were like superimposed into the old time footage. It was just like, I thought I saw them the first couple scenes. I was like, nah, maybe I'm just like fooling myself. And then they were like sitting right next to Princess Diana. I'm like, hey, that was pretty cool. Like a little like nod and all that.
And I have to say that song for me, because I hadn't seen the Pro Shot or anything like that. Hearing that song and sitting down, I'm like, oh, this movie's legit. That just it's the most engaging song. It's near the beginning of the movie, and I'm just like, oh wow, what's next? It definitely had me just waiting with bated breath.
But yeah, just like this whole cast, the song list, like, again, for as small a show as it is, this is the best outcome that could have come with it. And yeah, I think if they were to rewrite this show, I would love for that to be a featured portion on the stage. I don't know how they would do it.
Oh,
but,
the new song?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and maybe, well, because like it hasn't been in the United States yet, maybe they kind of, you know, act like it was in previews and kind of make some changes when they get here and maybe implement some of these changes, because I don't see how a song that's that beautiful, I mean, you have the song.
True.
Put it in the play. I mean, it's such, and you just said the song that it would be replacing is kind of a throwaway song, so why not?
True. Very true. I also want to say about the orchestrations of the show. The West End, I've always had a problem with this. They've always cut back a lot of the players in terms
there's
of
just
like,
a pared down sound when they with the music,
yeah,
right?
and especially in this show, I say not only is it a small show, but they have maybe 4 people playing in the band, and you can tell that sound is kind of quiet, not only when you're watching the pro shot, but even on the album. This one, I know it's a movie, so it's different rules, but it's just like that full sound, I think, also makes these songs even better. Even during the opening song, Don't Even Know It, when Jamie starts going into his dream sequences, and they're in the classroom, and they go to the club, and all of a sudden it just like sparks out. It's just like it gets slightly louder, and I'm just like, okay, I'm in it. Like, let's get this.
Right. And I even put a note down that I kind of, and I'm not comparing it like it's the same kind of show, but the way that I feel about Hairspray and the fact that I prefer the soundtrack to the movie musical over the Broadway version of Hairspray, I feel the same when we don't have a Broadway version of this yet, but I feel the same about, there's something about Jamie, or everybody's talking about Jamie with respect to the West End soundtrack. I definitely prefer the movie musical at this point.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Who else we got? I just want to go over a few other notes. The rest of the cast that rounds out, whether it's Samuel Bondley, who plays Dean Paxton, you know, the short time he has on screen uses it well. The girl who plays Ray, and even Miss Hedge, like all of these people, they use their little time and they use it wisely. This whole cast is rounded out. Even the dad, you know, I felt that hatred. Like, that's, you know, it's short little things, this small little show, and they've made it the best thing they could.
Now, I struggled with Sharon Horgan a little bit. Not her as an actress, but her character, I will say. Like, she's the
switch
teacher.
at the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just, yes, I thought it was very mean. I don't want to spoil anything, but when she forces him out of the bathroom, I feel like that's so mean. She knows he's being bullied. It's very visible. It happens in her own classroom. She doesn't care. Just so callous. Okay. And the quick flip at the end. I don't know. I just that character in general, I just struggle with a bit.
And I don't think that's the movie's fault. I think it's just like they were kind of written into a corner. And unlike the Hugo thing with the whole shop, I really don't know how you would make that more impactful. Because honestly, I do like the work of art song. And I think that's a good bop. You know what I mean?
I like the song.
Yeah.
I'm just writing down. I'm like, she's so mean.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like, I think she's technically, her character is written to a corner and there's like no way to get out of it, you know?
And I know she's a teacher. I know it's a private school, but Jimmy Choo's really a teacher's salary? That just seems a little unrealistic, but moving on.
Also, Bianca Del Rio and Leighton Williams both have starred in the show or in the movie. Bianca Del Rio was a fun little thing. I didn't even realize Leighton Williams was in it, but yeah, cool little like Easter eggs for the show.
Absolutely.
I was looking around. I really wish they would have put more drag queens in like the dream sequences and such. Obviously, RuPaul gets a little nod, like, you know, when Jamie says his jokes through the movie, you know. But yeah, this movie, I really hope it gets the love it deserves. Like,
I do too.
It's, again, small little show, but it's got that heart, and it's just a little show that could.
And that's the reason I wish it had a theatrical release in a theater, just so it could get to that level. I'm assuming, you know, Dear Evan Hansen is going to be in theaters, and I just wish this could have a chance next to it, because I think that I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen Dear Evan Hansen, but I'm at this point, I'm putting it right up there, you know, in terms of my expectations.
Like, it's got a mountain to climb compared to this movie. I mean, this movie is such a breath of fresh air. I think it's also like the trailer. The trailer came out like a year and a half ago. And it's like, I've been waiting for this film because honestly, although everybody's talking about Jamie, it's not my favorite musical by any means.
No.
It's definitely got I got a little bit of heart for it. But yeah, that first trailer was just like the fact that we waited this long since the first bit of media came out. It got me hyped. Way different from Dear Evan Hansen.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, it's just like this. It's perfection. I think this is the best outcome that could have been done with this movie musical.
And And the takeaway message is just so beautiful. It's just a message of acceptance, and tolerance. And I think that's what we need right now in the world is more of that. So I really think it's a timely musical as well.
Oh yeah. I hope, Cinderella, still, I know was technically not straight to theatrical release, but it still had some theaters playing it. So I hope this movie can hit theaters. I might run out even if it's a independent, I would definitely run out and see this. But if not, go see this on Amazon Prime. Subscribe
Absolutely.
to Amazon. It's worth it just for this movie alone.
You have nothing to lose. If you get to watch this movie, I think you'll be pleased.
I got the style, I got the moves to make you smile. So kiss my ass goodbye, 'cause I'm gonna be the one. And when
Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be.
the kid who learned to fly, 'cause
You are the bravest person I know. You're like Beyonce.
No.
Mom, do you ever wish I were just normal?
No. Never.
just the feeling.
And you don't even know it.
Yeah, but yeah, everybody's talking about Jamie. What do we want to rate it?
Let's do it on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
James Corden Thrust.
Yes.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, James Corden Thrust, what do you rate this movie?
I'm going to give it a 9. It's almost near perfection. Like you said, there's a few things we'd fix, but for what this is an amazing movie musical. Definitely in one of my top 10.
And I'm gonna match that. I think this was an excellent movie musical adaptation, so I'm gonna go with a 9 as well.
Okay. Everybody's talking about Jamie. Comes out September 17th to all Amazon Prime members. Till then, this is Justin.
And Stephanie.
This is S&J Talk Broadway. Have a great day.